Hello, Eurovision fans. My name's Euan. Joining me today is the lovely Rory.
Hello.
And as you can tell from the name of the video, we will be discussing Azerbaijan at Eurovision 2026.
Okay.
So, just a week ago, we heard for the first time Azerbaijan's 2026 Eurovision entry. It is Jiva. She will be singing Just Go. Rory, what are your thoughts on the song? Just kicking us off.
Okay, so it's very hard to say because Azerbaijan in the last few years they've really not been giving me anything that's like great. I liked Mama Gama. I did say in the studio, but like once we got to the live stage, we don't talk about that. Um and in the same way
It's
I
just a
also
shame
like
they didn't get to participate in Basel. It's just such a shame.
yeah, that it was only just 36 countries there.
Mhm.
No one else was replacing them at all. Um, yeah, but I also liked Rory and Ilkin as well. Like there was bits of those songs that I really did like because it felt like they were giving like a specific version of themselves, if you know what I mean, like of like Azerbaijani music. Like we had a little bit of like the traditional feel in Mama Gama, and then we had like the Mugam kind of style that was in Uzun Par. And then we get to this year, and I'm just like, okay, so great that we have Azerbaijani in this again, and that's it, essentially. I feel like it's just it's just not something for me. I appreciate her singing abilities. I think she sounds like she's very good. And I again, like I said, I like the fact that part of it is in Azerbaijani because up until like 2 years ago, they were like horrified at singing in Azerbaijani in the first place. Um, but yeah, I think this is not it for me, I'm afraid. But as you are the Azerbaijan stan, the Azerbaijan, as we will say, I mean, what did you think of it?
Just before we say it, I did decide to have a look at our rankings. Rory has this 32nd. Kittens inexplicably has this 25th.
I mean, let it be
The
said.
BPM Queen surprisingly has this 10 points higher than I would expect. So I have this fourth. I love this. Thank you for bringing up Fire and Elchin because, of course, they should have won in 2024 because they did have the best song of the year. But yeah, I love this. We will discuss this choice as a Eurovision act later, but just as a song, I love this. It just feels Azerbaijani to me. I know that a lot of people have said that they don't, but this is what I would expect from an Azerbaijani ballad because most of the songs that we've had in Eurovision from Azerbaijan have not been written in by Azerbaijanis. So it's great that we're once again, for the third time in a row, having something written by them. And this was the biggest focus that with their switch up that they wanted to encourage a lot more indigenous writers rather than just contracting it out to Swedes as they usually did. So extremely happy that they've done it this way. Love the song. It just feels very classy, um, enticing. It's a nice slow song. Choice for Eurovision though, if we move on to that part.
Yeah, not
The,
really one for Eurovision, I would say, but yeah.
I've said this in another video. There's in that semi-final, there are two songs that are absolutely not qualifying, and it is one of them. Um, yeah, there's no way in hell. It's not going to get any televotes. It's probably going to get a zero there. I do like that they are going for juries rather than televote songs because they seem to do better in that way. Just how they make the songs. Um, all of their like jury bait songs have been fantastic. Well, all of their songs have been fantastic because Azerbaijan is the best country in Eurovision. Um, that was
Okay.
definitely a Luke Rory.
Okay.
So
You're
I'm
entitled
happy
to that wrong opinion, but all right, go off.
because we of course have the changes. Juries are back in the semi-finals. Um, Obviously, Azerbaijan was one of the countries that the reason that we got rid of juries in the semi-final, but that's a separate discussion. Um, but I just cannot see this getting enough points from the jury to get it over the top. of those other ones. I could see you getting a nice like threes, twos, ones. Not enough to qualify. Rory, what are your thoughts on it as an actual Eurovision song?
Yeah, I think I do kind of agree with you. I think its chances of qualifying are kind of dead in the water already. Um, I think the thing is, right, like I'm sure she's a very good singer because she's won the Voice of Azerbaijan. Like she can sing well, like there's no denying that. I think the main thing that puts me off this song is the whole production element of it. It feels like it's been like was recorded in like like in a studio like in 2011 or something like that. And they've just not like mastered it well enough. Which is saying something because obviously, Azerbaijan was one of the last countries to release the song. So it kind of gives you like more questions. It raises more questions than answers, essentially. Um, yeah, we're talking semi-final two here. Obviously there's a lot more ballads within this semi-final anyway, so like it would naturally have more competition regardless because you've got the likes of Latvia, you've got the likes of Czechia, you've got Albania, you've got Malta, like all of these kind of dramatic ballads and stuff like that. And I feel like this just doesn't have the power of a song like that can push through all of that and really make that kind of connection. It kind of feels a little bit kind of nervous. It's kind of like, oh, like, oh, so is it me? Is it like, is it my time? Oh, like that. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make an impact. And that's kind of the thing that you need to have if you want to try to get through a semi-final like this. But
And the way to make the impact is with some dramatic class A staging, which Azerbaijan are not going to do because they've not had good staging
for the
since
last few
2019.
years.
Since 2019.
Yeah. Like the thing is with Azerbaijan is that they go all out with their staging. And like they go big as well.
Mhm.
Like they throw the kitchen sink at it. Like we've seen huge sets of staircases. We've seen like like well the head like of 2024 in that. Then we had like the huge hula hoop of like just hanging above Mama Gama as well. Like there's just always a prop, which is,
Mhm.
I love me a prop.
Now, I am a slut for staircases in Eurovision. So I will be biased and say that every song warrants a staircase in it. This does feel like the one that would warrant a pointless staircase leading to nowhere.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
drama of it to like really amp it up. I don't think they're going to do this. I'm worried what they're going to do.
what do you think they would do? That's why, like, as an Azerbaijan.
I don't know, and that's the worrying thing. I think they'll pump a lot of money into it. There'll be a lot of money in like the costuming and that won't really work. This is an issue that they've had in the last few years. Is they've had the costumes themselves have looked good, but they've just blended into the background. Like 2024, you could not see Fari. You could barely see Mama Gama for lots of the camera angles with those ones.
Mm,
I worry that they could do something like this with Jiva, um, because she is a great singer. She has the stage performance, so hopefully that something like that could overcome it, but I'm worried.
yeah, and when you've got like big acts as well, that like I'm just looking at like what else is in the first half here. I mean, like you've got songs like or countries like that are in this like half. For example, like Romania, you've got ones like Bulgaria, you've got Armenia. These are ones that are going to be very big in your face, that kind of thing, and they're going to be like big shows. And then I just don't know how, like, unless they've got some drastic change for Vienna that they've just been not telling us. I don't see a way out of the semi-final for this. I think it's firmly stuck here. And it's kind of interesting though, because it's like, well, like, where's the Azerbaijan that we had like in the 2010s where they were like constantly qualifying? They only had one non-qualification, and now they're
Unjust.
currently on a 3-year non-qualification streak.
Mhm. An unjust non-qualification last year. I think there is an issue, of course, that they are opening the submission window way too late. Like it closed in January. Sorry, I just looked up. January the 18th is when the submission window closed. That's way too late for an internal selection. You, this is why I think you're what you're saying about the production value. Personally, I don't think it really minds. I think it adds to the sort of style of the song, but I understand why it would be jarring to some people. You need a good more than less than 2 months
Mm,
to actually like properly like refine this. This should be closing November for something like this. And I think that is one of the issues with Azerbaijan because traditionally they've done that. People have just assumed that they're waiting for this ones that don't get a submission to other countries in a year where all of the songs are written by Swedish writers. But now they're focusing on Azerbaijani writers. If they're doing that, why are they not closing beforehand?
yeah. And to be fair, I know that this year was obviously a bit harder because there was kind of the whole question of like the General Assembly that was going on in December. And like in theory, I remember that that's why the head of delegation was saying that's why we've kind of just waited a little bit later to start our search. But if you're planning on doing Eurovision or not, you need to start these things early. This is part of the reason why, like Switzerland, for example, Switzerland released its like announced Veronica Fusaro was like representing them like back in December or
Because
something.
they have their songwriting camps. Is it usually July?
Yeah, they have it like really
Like that's how
early.
early. And you, even though sorry, even though the Netherlands didn't go, we know that they had an act. Like they had the song,
Yeah.
were ready for this one, irrespective of whether or not they were going to Eurovision. It it was the wrong approach to it.
Hmm.
I just really think Azerbaijan should go back to a national final.
I would love to see Azerbaijan go back to a national selection because like the last time it was they've done like that was what, 2014?
20,
2014 was like for the arts selection.
yeah. Yeah, and I would say a split one. Artist on a lot beforehand, then pick an artist, let them work with a team of
Yeah.
good Azerbaijani writers if they're keeping the focus on this one. Um, yeah, they could have done so much better. So I think yeah, we're both in agreement. Like this is
Yeah, I mean,
not
like for
qualifying.
example, like that thing as well. Like I heard you saying, like give them some time to work on it. That's what Bulgaria did this year, and Bulgaria came out with like three very different songs. Like Dara came out with three different songs, but there was one very obvious winner, and then fair enough, but that's fine. But like at least it's something that's in their style in a way. Do you know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like, just try something new. To like, if you're doing the same things all the time and expecting different results, like.
Well, have they really done the same thing all the time?
Well, I
Because
mean,
Mama
their
Gama is
process
weird. But even the process same, they're still coming out with different things. They've had Magam song. I don't know how the hell you would classify Mama Gama.
kind of
Toronto and X,
poppy-ish.
so it's like poppy sort of vintage style. They've gone for the hyper pop arabesque things of Matahari and Cleopatra. They've gone for the Eurovision winners that were unjustifiably robbed in Chinggis. Like they go out there, they do there's this variety. They just need
Yeah.
they just need something more. We need the Azerbaijan winning again
Well, we
every
need them
year.
to do something to actually, because the thing is, I think this, I think in general within like the Caucasus region, like with the exception now this year of Bzikabi, like they really have been struggling the last few years to really just bring something that's like competitive. And I just don't see something like that, especially from Azerbaijan, like it
I
seems like.
also don't think Georgia are competitive, just to say that's a purely Rory opinion.
But I just
But
mean
yeah,
in general, like within the last few years, like all of the Caucasus countries just haven't really been giving anything that's like in conversation to win, you know? And,
even in
back in what, the
conversation to
20,
do well.
yeah, but like, think back to the 2010s, like that
Mhm.
area, like Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, they were like always in contention to win. Like, I'm thinking, Samra was there for a long time, Dihaj was there, also like Iveta Mukuchan, there was also Nina Sublati, like there's just names, like there were big options, and it just seems like they something has happened in that area and they just don't know how to get themselves out of this rut. And I kind of don't really understand why, because like nothing has changed. So,
But the contest that has changed. All of the ones that you listed were very much jury bait songs. Sorry, well, acts that sang jury bait songs. And what the juries are going for tends to be a lot more different. It's a lot more authentic rather than just pure polish. And
mm,
I think that's the whole area needs to go for something a lot more authentic. Because think like Armenia 23 and 24, if we're just talking that region, there's nothing from Georgia that's authentic. Maybe last year, but that was,
well, controversial. So,
I mean, not even the controversial between Georgia 2025. It's just that it was also,
a mess.
yeah,
But like,
yeah. So
I'm
it's
thinking
like,
like
but it's in the,
2007, right? 2007 Georgia. Like that's the
mhm.
kind of like level that we need. Something that has a clear, authentic sound to it, but still
But sorry,
blends something
well,
with
I mean that
traditional.
like that's obviously the Eurovision of old. Like the
Yeah.
Eurovision contemporary for say Armenia 23 and 24. Like that's authentic, and they got good results, like respectable results there. So the whole region needs to just go. I think they should stop caring about what the Eurovision result is going to be, and just make something that is authentic to them
Yeah.
and good.
Yeah. I definitely think so.
Because
Yeah.
then they will start to actually get qualifications once they like get a rhythm to it.
Mm. Definitely,
The
yeah.
style of being like Czechia.
Yeah. Look at how
16,
Turkey is doing
17.
it now.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
It's like
annoying.
16, 17. They didn't qualify, but they were authentic. There was a good style to it. Then they start to get the qualifications from it. Like I don't think the last couple of years Azerbaijan should have been worrying about trying to get something to qualify. They should have just been looking for something that's good.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay.
Ridiculous still, but yeah.
So yeah, that's our thoughts on Jiva this year in Azerbaijan. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channels. We'll be discussing all of the acts of this year. And we will also be present in the Eurovision pre-parties and as well as Vienna. So check out our channels and also us for our news. Thank you so much, Rory, for agreeing to be um, bombarded with Azerbaijan.
I have no
Uh,
problem with that. Thank you very much.
bombarded Azerbaijan when I'm involved because let's face it, I am the annoying stan of the
Oh,
website.
it's fine. You have to put up with me in Portugal. It's fine.
Thank you so much for listening to us today. So again, yep, don't forget to check out all of our other social media channels as we get up to Eurovision 2026. Bye.
See you later.